Good morning, Virgo, and welcome to your reading with Molly the Starkid at Starkidignited. This recording is being done in September, although the messages are timeless. So whenever you find this reading is the right time for you to receive its messages. This will be part 1, where it's a bit general, and then part 2 is below on Patreon for 10 USD a month, and that will look into love, career, and money. So in saying that, this is for Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, and North Node. All information is below in the description, and let's jump straight into your cards today. Okay. So Spirit, please tap me into Virgo's energy. All the Virgos watching this reading, what message would you like to give them? What is going on for Virgo? Cool, okay. Alright, so we start off with the card of Guide. With a guide, mentor, a trustworthy ally. And this is a 38, which breaks down to an 11. And then your second card is the Return of Aphrodite. With Temple, Birth of the Goddess, Guidance, Goddess Energy, and Treating as Sacred. Wonderful. Okay, Virgo. So this next 30 days, it looks like you're going to attract a guide, a mentor, a trustworthy ally, whether that comes in the form of a friend, an actual mentor that you're learning from, getting a deeper connection with your spirit guides, being able to differentiate when they're speaking to you, when they're giving you messages, and knowing when and how to follow those messages for the best outcome. It feels like your third eye and your throat chakra, as we have a lot of purple and blue here, so that place there are being activated, are being a lot of information is being channeled through those two chakras. So it's just your job this next 30 days to really differentiate between that fearful 3D voice, like the one that says, no, it can't be, or that tends to distrust and doubt, and realizing what that really strong and differentiating between that and your guide messages, your higher self and source, and your spirit guides, who will whisper to you as well, but it's not the tone of voice that they use will be very different. And so being able to differentiate between those two voices in your own mind, so that you can know when something is more coming out of an anxious or fearful place, or if something is coming from a truly divine, loving, and guided place. Remember, spirit is never afraid. Our spirit guides, like, no matter what option we choose, they know that there's going to be growth and love and lessons that will benefit us either way in any circumstance. So they're never going to yell at us. They're never going to try and berate us with fear or anxiety or anything like that. They're just it's going to be that calm voice that's just like, what about this? Or we can do this. That's one helpful way to kind of differentiate. I feel like as well, Virgo, that like you've gone through a lot this year. Just the fact that the guide card is coming up here, it feels like you really need a similar energy, something where you can feel at home with, something that you can like feel comfortable and safe to share your most vulnerable feelings, fears, emotions, a safe space, someone that you can really deeply connect with and feel like you can both guide each other in this realm now. And whether that is like, if you're on more of a solo hermit journey, which is the Virgo card, you may be relying heavily on your spirit guides, heavily on your past on loved ones or ancestors, or your higher self or God themselves, to really give you that support, that nourishment, and that information. But if you are lucky enough to have someone in the physical that you trust and that you're enjoying their company, and you can guide each other as well. You may also be stepping into a role as a guide for somebody else, Virgo. There might be something that you've really mastered or a skill that you've refined where other people are now looking to you to help shed some of that knowledge and guide them through the weeds that you've just like created a path through. So be open to that as well. If you like, be aware of that if you're open to it, I guess. Okay. Now with the return of Aphrodite, Yeah, I think this is recognizing yourself deeply as a sacred being. Maybe diving more into visualization, meditation, um, creating different playful ways to get in touch with spirit, to get in touch with your inner goddess, your divine feminine side, and make contact with that side of you, to recognize how that side of you pervades in your everyday life, how you already are that being. And like, if you're a masculine Virgo, this might be really recognizing the goddess energy in your partner or in other women around you, starting to really reclaim femininity and the feminine energy as something beautiful, sacred, and unshameful. In patriarchy and things like that, feminine energy is often valued less than masculine energy. And we often see feminine energy getting taken advantage of, abused, things, like more negative things happening when people are in their feminine energy. But it's feminine energy that helps balance out that masculine energy that so many people live in these days. They feel like they need to be masculine, they need to be protecting themselves, and whether consciously or unconsciously, preferring to be in that energy is like kind of overvaluing it and then devaluing the feminine energy. Thinking like nothing good happens to you if you're not working or if you're not going out and doing something, when in fact spirit would argue and would show you that there's like there's a time to row and there's a time to sail, and rowing masculine, sailing feminine, like where we just sit and receive and we allow things to come to us, we attract what we need rather than having to exert a lot of force to go get that same thing. So Virgo, it feels like you're understanding this part of yourself a little bit more and starting to embrace it, starting to learn from it, make relationship and connection to it, opening yourself up to that energy, opening yourself up to the sacredness and the power that lies in that energy, and using it for the highest possible using it in the highest possible way, like not using it, not realizing this power and then being like, oh good, I can now like go use this over someone. It's more like recognizing it in yourself and recognizing it in others, and being that strong feminine force that allows other people to feel nourished and gentle with themselves, and even allow their feminine energy to realize itself in a little bit in a stronger way. And again, it says guidance. So there's a lot of different guidance coming for you. White pigeons or doves may be a message for you, as is the scallop shell. She's got a scallop shell around her neck with pearls. And the dolphins show me that, this can be a playful time. This can be something where you aren't judging yourself too much, but rather getting in touch with that side of you in a way that feels gentle and easy and exciting. And soft, because then it's going to come through a lot stronger. I'm someone that like earth energy, which Virgo is. I'm a Capricorn, but I have a Virgo moon. And the Virgo energy, well, just the earth energy tends to be very overly practical. And the world as it is today, it doesn't have a lot of appreciation for the spirit side. A lot of people are very materialistic. They don't believe in anything that they can't see. Whereas, and so when I've done meditations and visualizations in the past, if it's not perfect, if I can't see it like a movie, then my physical brain wants to be like, well, it's not happening, like it's not real, it's not working, give up, kind of thing. And what I would say for this is, if you do have any of those experiences, to just suspend that doubt and bring in a sense of play. Like allow it to be an imagination exercise where you're making up the rules, you're making anything happen. And even if it's not perfect, it's creating new neural pathways in your brain. It's creating like an open space for more to come in. And even if you're not the most perfect meditator or perfect visualizer to begin with, having that sense of play and childlike wonder is going to increase the messages that come through for you, increase your connection to the divine, and also just it creates a space for your guides to come in, because obviously we need to use our own free will to invite them in. They can't just interfere in our lives unless we're asking for help. So when we create that space where we're setting up a meditation or visualization or journaling or something, and we're wanting to create a sacred container, allowing ourselves to just believe what we're feeling and to go with it. And, you know, to have that sense of play will get us a lot further and allow our guides to come in a lot stronger than if, you know, whenever we get a message, we're immediately doubting it and trying to analyze it. So yeah, okay, let's leave it there. Let's look at your, how are Virgo feeling? Okay. Wow, cool. And so 2 of these cards I got in another reading. Maybe it was Leo, maybe Leo's Patreon message. But the first card that we get for you is Shark with action. We get Giant Clam, which is another 11, same with Guide with Harmony. So that's very synchronistic. And then we get Whale with Grief, Virgo. So it feels like you are in a position these next 30 days where you're ready to take action. You're ready to go after something. And it makes sense because, you know, the last 30 days we had Mars going through your sign. So it was giving you that boost of energy, that fire, that drive to go out and assert yourself and do more things. So we're still seeing that in your energy, which is wonderful. You may be ready to make that decision, to plan that new endeavor, to go on a trip or take action towards something that you truly want. And maybe even taking more action on the guided messages that you're getting rather than doubting them. You know, allowing more of those feelings, resonance, epiphanies to come through, and then feeling like, okay, you know what, I am going to take action on this. I'm not going to spend days analyzing it to the point where I just go back to doing the old thing. I'm going to take action. I'm going to take one step forward and see where I get and see what happens. We get, as I said, Giant Clam with Harmony. So I feel like you are taking action to create a harmonious relationship between you and your higher self, you and the spiritual realm. You may connect with fairies, I just felt, or elementals, or, you know, whatever you resonate with in your heart or most excites you to learn about. Creating a harmonious relationship with those loving beings, and what you know, giving yourself permission to kind of wonder and imagine and to grow into that side of yourself, and to, you know, like, our relationship with our guides and our ancestors and source God is a harmonious relationship. It's not where we just, like, you know, put in our order and we don't have to do anything and we demand and we call. It's a very beautiful relationship where, like, we give a little, we get a little, we give a little, we get a little, and we work together with that energy, building trust, building harmony and flow to the point where we're able to take even bigger steps, even bigger leaps of faith, knowing that Spirit's got us and that we're also listening and acting upon the guidance that we get back and the things that we're needing to do. You know, like, Spirit can tell us, like, hey, you're going to be a fantastic artist, but it's not until we actually decide, okay, I am going to do that, even if I don't have the evidence right now. I believe in that. I've got enough evidence to show me that I have done well at art in the past, and I'm going to take those steps forward to make it happen. Like, Spirit can't do the physical side of it for us. They can guide us. They can have other people show up in our lives who can help. They can, you know, create more synchronistic events, but we're the one who has to snap up the opportunity. We're the one who has to take action on it. So yeah, that's pretty cool though, Virgo. I think it's going to be really interesting 30 days to see what you allow yourself to be capable of doing and what you can achieve. And now with your final card with Whale and Grief, you might have been stuck in some really heavy energies coming into these next 30 days. You may have lost something or been going through a period of hardship where you have been grieving, where you have been really weighed down by heavy emotions. You might not have been feeling as creative as you normally feel. You may have been, you know, doubting yourself or really, and I got that from the guide card, just like going through a tough time. But with the Whale card here as well, you know, it's reminding you to breach up out of those emotions, to come up for air, to, you know, take the time that you need to grieve and to really remember that person, place, thing, or even past identity. But then, yeah, and it could have something to do with your feminine energy. Like, you might have felt like you were more in that feminine energy when you were younger, or like before you know, X, Y, and Z happened. Like maybe there was a bad relationship, or like a friendship dissolved, or like, you know, things like this where you used to see yourself in a different way, and now having to, like, once you're realizing that that separation has been created, grieving that old self and grieving that just that situation. But as you allow yourself to grieve, remember to come back up for air. Remember to remind yourself that you know, anything we lost, anything that is not in our life anymore, it creates space for new things to come in when we're ready, and to embrace that when we feel ready, not to feel rushed into it. Okay, so let's get some tarot cards for you, Virgo, and then we'll get some higher self messages and then jump over to part 2 on Patreon. So what is Virgo's current energy, Spirit? Yeah, we get the Hierophant. So again, like a card of spirit guides, of like religious figures. Ooh. Yeah, okay. So this, and it feels like this could represent, like, for me, the Hierophant always reminds me of like old beliefs, old patterns, you know, ways that things have always been done, the more conventional religious route, as it is like a high priest, sorry, you know, like kind of like a pope or someone having people come to them and they're like dictating down their messages. And so we also get some other cards here. So if there has been a past relationship that's ended, it feels like this person was someone that refused to see the spiritual side of things. They kind of were closed off to seeing, because we have the Hangman in reverse, closed off to like taking that pause to seeing things in the way that their spirit guides were bringing in for them, feeling quite angry and reactive with the Knight of Wands in reverse, like things not moving, possibly being quite mean and cruel, and not taking the rest that was needed, not taking that step back. Now that could also be you, Virgo, like for example, what these old religious beliefs, or, you know, it can just be like family beliefs, or like just ways that we think like we have to live our life by, like rules and regulations, where it left you like blocked off from your spiritual self, from your own spiritual understanding. Things weren't moving forward and you're getting really frustrated. There might have been a period where you felt sick, or your health was affected because you weren't able to take the rest and the time out that you were being like instructed to take. But I really feel like this is somebody else. So like again, like someone that could have been like exerting control over you, which has got something to do with the grief of like what you've lost. So it's likely you're not with this person anymore, but they, yeah, as I said, like might have blocked you off from your more spiritual understanding. They could have exerted a lot of like anger, frustration, dictating like their energy towards you, and maybe leaving you in a state where you weren't able to be at peace in yourself, like constantly feeling on guard, and like you had to bend to their will. And then the other cards that we get is the Six of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords. So it does feel like you're in a state like, and the Six of Pentacles is a Virgo card, like very service orientated card. It feels like no matter what you're doing, like no matter how many people you help, or how much you work, or how much you give of yourself, you're still feeling like stressed out. You're still feeling not good enough. Like you're constantly being like judged, and felt like it's not enough, you need to keep going, and that like looking after yourself is selfish, essentially, is like the feeling that I'm getting from this. And this is all coming as well from the Hierophant. So it does feel like needing to like adjust your beliefs, to adjust and like make up a new rule book, to really decide for yourself, like, okay, what do I believe? Am I going to allow this person to keep treating me this way? Or if it's yourself, am I going to allow these beliefs and restrictions to continue to have me blocked off from myself, and blocked off from the things that I know are my highest and best? Like, it does myself no good to constantly beat myself up and to beat myself up and, you know, be up at night with my stomach in knots, worrying about all these different beliefs and ideas that other people have put on me. And then, so your final few cards that we get are the Devil, Death, and the Six of Cups. So, yeah, there was definitely some self-sabotage, some self-limiting beliefs, some really like judgmental energy, whether that was coming from that other person, or it obviously can be you if this is just about you. But there is a death to that energy that's coming. You're able to leave it behind, to say like, this doesn't work for me anymore, to unchain yourself from the devil and walk away, no longer being stuck in a situation that doesn't serve you, stuck in repetitive negative energies that just want to keep you trapped and keep you small and keep you ashamed of yourself. There's a death to that. There's an allowing of that old identity to be offered up and to be transmuted into something new, saying like, you know what, I can't keep doing this, I don't want to, whatever it takes, you know, kind of like speaking to the universe and saying like, I'm willing to put this down, I'm willing to stop treating myself like this. And it might have something to do with childhood, with the Six of Cups, like looking at the past. This could also just be something that it's just kept you stuck in the past for so long. Someone treating you like this, always judging yourself, always feeling like you're not good enough. Because what we have is, once you're able to remove yourself from this devil energy and allow the thing that's not serving to die, to put it to bed, you know, with death, it's like shedding a skin, and it can be scary because we don't know what's under there. Like maybe we've had this skin for a long time, but you're emerging as the Queen of Pentacles, someone who is stable, who's self-sufficient, who's independent, who's a nurturer, who has a lot to give and a lot of harvest and beautiful energy around to share with others. And they are someone that is a natural giver. Like they do tend to look after other people. So no longer judging yourself and feeling like what you give is not good enough, recognizing that you've got strong, capable feminine energy. You are a giver, but the more you give, you also receive. When you're not in an energy with someone that's constantly ripping you down and making you feel like what you're doing is not good enough. Okay. All right, let's get some higher self messages. Spirit, what? Oh, okay. All right, we got a few. So your first one is, it's almost over, Virgo. And this says, your current challenges will soon be resolved and you'll be able to look to the future with a smile. Amazing. And we got that. Like, you know, there's a bit of like decisions to be made here, but there's such supportive energy around you to make that decision that I think you're going to be fine. Be honest with yourself. Visualizing Archangel Michael's hands on your shoulders, comforting you and allowing you to see the situation clearly. All your feelings, even the difficult ones, have a message for you. Accept your truth and then let Source take it from there. We get, you will manifest what you need. Card 44 as well, which is cool. Express gratitude as if your plans have already come to pass. Trust that your angels are bringing you the assistance you need. Exactly, like that harmonious relationship with your guides that... when you ask for something and you trust that it's coming, it is going to come through for you, and allowing your angels and Source to help. And your final card, Virgo, is get your power back. You have forgotten who you are. You're a child of the divine, so take back your power. Exactly. And we got that with that energy of like someone just like obscuring the spiritual truth and being really mean and nasty, and not allowing that like rest and rejuvenation to come through. You deserve all the rest that you like. You deserve to take care of yourself. You deserve to feel nourished and strong and capable and powerful. So take your power back and remember who you are. All right, guys, well, let's leave it there for this month. Thank you so much for being here with me. I really appreciate it. I'm going to jump over to part 2, so please join me on the link below. And until next time, bye, guys.